We came to Seoul to experience as broad a taste of the Korean dining scene as possible. And we dipped our toes into some classic areas of the cuisine in other videos, but we also wanted to explore some less traditional options. And one particular area of interest for me are the international foods that have gained popularity locally in Seoul. So I've orchestrated a brief tour for us by picking a few favorite foods to see how they're being translated into the Seoul restaurant scene. London Bagel Museum is in fact not a museum, but one of the most popular cafes in Seoul right now, regularly having lines with wait times up to 2 hours long. As someone who grew up in northern New Jersey, close to the epicenter for quality bagels in America, everything about this place is fascinating. Inside is very cozy, with a general vintage British pub sort of aesthetic. There are little Union Jacks and images of the Queen everywhere. The bagels are served buffet style, with many of the bagels being pre-schmeared or pre-assembled for you to just pick up. There's also a large case of cream cheese with tons of interesting flavors, like lemon curd, Earl Grey milk jam, or bacon and onion jam. With so many that we're excited to try, we opt for a variety. First, there's a pretzel butter salt bagel, which was like a hybrid of a plain bagel and a soft pretzel. It's filled with thick slices of butter. Overall, the bagel is much softer and chewier than we're accustomed to, and this would be consistent across all the bagels we try. We're told by the folks at London Bagel that their bagels are really popular for this texture, and while not what we're used to, they do present a compelling overall package when taken as a whole. Next, we have the spring onion pretzel bagel, which seemed like it might actually be the most familiar to me, with scallion cream cheese being a personal favorite. But the exact onion flavor of this bagel was surprising. The spring onion has a more mellow flavor and is incorporated with inch-long pieces of the tender green section compared to the harsher root pieces you typically find in scallion cream cheese. And the most curious bagel of all, the potato cheese bagel, which was what really inspired our visit in the first place. The square of sliced cheese delicately melted on top is just too intriguing to pass up. We weren't exactly sure how the potato was going to factor into this bagel.
Potato bagel.
It turns out it's basically just filled with mashed potato. Stephen points out that it has a softness as if you combined milk bread and bagels. It really wanted some extra sharp flavor, and the bacon onion cream cheese turned out to be perfect, and essentially turned it into a loaded baked potato.
You kind of have to think of it not as a bagel, the way that Taco Bell is not Mexican food.
The most intense-looking bagel on the menu, the bacon potato sandwich, was pretty much an evolved version of our creation. It has a generous portion of the bacon onion jam, tomato slices, and a mashed potato, and eats more like a sloppy Joe than anything else. It might seem silly to come all the way to Korea to eat bagels, but when you're trying something that is completely new to you, the whole experience of that thing is unknown. But if you find something that you have some familiarity with, you can notice in detail what you know and appreciate what you really don't. Plus, how often do I get to have a genuinely new bagel experience? When considering what to eat while traveling, I wonder, what are the things that someone from where I'm going really wants to eat? And sure, the answer to that question could be as numerous and different as there are people in that place, but some not insignificant amount might say, I'd really like some tacos right now. So while in Seoul, we have the unique opportunity to not just eat some tacos, but to eat the tacos that someone from Seoul really wants to eat. And that's how we find ourselves at Oldies Tacos. Oldies is a restaurant that is authentic purely to itself. With a mashup of vintage Americana for their decor, they serve a concise menu of tacos and thematically related snacks. Like their version of the walking taco, here they call it the Mega Bomb Snack. A plate of Doritos are loaded like nachos with taco ground beef, cheese sauce, salsa, and jalapenos. The folks at Oldies explained for us that it was never their intention to make 100% authentic tacos, but rather to translate an eating experience, which they felt would resonate with locals who already had a love for Korean street foods. The dish we're most excited to try is their take on birria tacos, the traditional Mexican marinated and braised meat commonly served with a consommé of the braising liquid. Here they take on an identity of their own and are made with the unique premium breed of Korean beef called Hanwoo.
All right, tacos acquired.
Open it up.
Boom.
Oh my gosh.
These actually look amazing.
One thing I didn't realize is that half of the eating the taco is watching it get made.
Like LA street tacos, you're standing there while your food is getting made.
The car being in the Alpha store in front of you. Here, it's like open window.
Same experience.
All right, give me a second here. Can I go like this?
Yeah, you can. My hands are actually too cold to be doing this. I can't squeeze the lime.
What did they base this with, the tortilla?
They dip it in like the braising juice.
I'm telling you right now, I'm screwed.
Yeah, white jacket was the wrong thing to wear.
Oh no!
You gotta clean that up.
I gotta pick it up.
Here.
Oh my, okay. 2 hands.
Cheers, Steven.
Cheers.
It's actually great.
Yeah. So this is the only item on the menu that they serve with Hanwoo beef. Like premium cut of the cut beef.
I'm gonna devour this right now.
I'm kind of surprised at how the tortilla.
Yeah.
Like it's not a hard shell, not a soft shell.
Well, it's refried on the grill. This is how birria tacos are always made, where it's kind of like saturated in the juice, which is probably a good call because I don't think they're getting like super authentic tortillas. But if it's saturated in juice and then grilled on the flat top, the flavor's coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I love the vibe here too. Like the decor, they have a TV playing NASCAR inside.
The boombox?
Yeah, the boombox, the music.
They have like the New York sanitation signs on the door, which is interesting because like it's like LA-inspired, Mexican-inspired tacos, but New York signs. That's kind of what's cool about Seoul, actually.
Yeah.
It feels like the best of New York and LA together sometimes.
The scene at Oldies seems to have captured the imaginations of folks in Seoul. It's not even a weekend where we hear lines wrap around the block, but the lunch rush has the place packed. Next, we're trying the Mega Bomb snack.
Mega Bomb snack, which is essentially walking nachos.
Apparently it's a Midwest thing. This is just like the Doritos Locos Taco, right? But then in plate form.
I think the Doritos are a little different too. Man, you cannot make bad nachos.
No, for real. One thing I will note, it's a little sweeter than what you would normally get in America.
Yeah, like the Dorito is like a little sweeter.
Yeah. My favorite part of some dishes is like the 4 to 5 minute mark when it's like slightly soggy.
Yes.
I love slightly soggy.
You prefer the soggy middle nachos more than the outside crisp nachos.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, the first taco I ever had in my life was like my mom making hard shell ground beef taco night at home, you know? This reminds me a little bit of that, but it's like way better, you know? It's chips and cheese, baby.
In planning for Korea, we heard a lot about the pizza scene and knew we had to give it a try. While we came across tons of options, including many making genuine Neapolitan wood-fired pies, we had our hearts set on something more unique, which brought us to the Fitzza. The Fitzza's menu is full of fun options, and we went to the top of the list, starting with the American Burger Pizza. Interestingly, pizza at the Fitzza begins as a large triangle slice and is exclusively served that way. I've had burger pizzas before that were made to taste like a burger, But this pizza goes one step further and is also assembled like a burger. However, the meat and cheese components remain just on the top, like a typical pizza, with lettuce and tomato and burger sauce between the slices.
I'm gonna start with the burger.
Wait, you're just gonna start eating this?
Yeah.
You're not gonna acknowledge what's in front of us?
Yeah, we got a burger pizza that actually has 2 layers.
It looks crazy. Can we say that?
It does look crazy. Cheers, Steven.
Cheers!
It is kind of uniquely satisfying.
It's working for you? 'Cause it's working for me.
As monstrous as it looks, it's actually not that dense. It's more like focaccia than it is pizza. Mm-hmm. And I would even go further and say that it's more like a large format salad crouton than it is focaccia. It has the same vegetable to meat ratio as an In-N-Out burger.
You just read my mind.
No?
Why did I think In-N-Out? Is it because of the lettuce?
I think it's the iceberg,
Yes.
it's the sauce, and it's how light the bread is actually.
My brain is like short-circuiting because it looks crazy, but it tastes normal.
Yeah. Also, cutting it is painstaking, so I'm just gonna go like this.
The next pizza is corn and shrimp. Corn on pizza, it seems, is quite a popular topping in Korea, and was actually what originally set us down this path of intrigue. I'm personally a fan of Hawaiian pizza, and if the sweetness of pineapple can stand up to a marriage with pizza, why shouldn't corn?
You wanna eat some corn and shrimp?
I do. I really do, because this, now that's something. It looks a little spicy, huh? Like I'm like feeling it right here again.
Kind of tastes like Cajun food. It's like spicy shrimp plus corn, and then the bread is like a toasted baguette, basically. Sorry, I have to know what this condiment on the plate is. It's thick. Do you know what they call salad dressing in merry old England? It's sometimes called salad cream.
Uh-huh.
I would describe that as a salad cream.
I was thinking they'd be more saying like dressing.
Oh, like with an accent.
Yeah.
We were gonna limit our experience at the Fitzza with just the 2 pizzas, with things like pepperoni pizza seeming like too mundane of an option. But something else pepperoni caught our eye. Pepperoni pasta. Linguine in a cream sauce is baked with a layer of pepperoni on top. And as is common in Korea, there's an egg yolk garnish for an extra silky texture.
This is the thing I was not even expecting to be on the menu. Pepperoni pizza.
Is this pizza?
Oh, sorry, it's pepperoni pasta. Pepperoni pasta. Yeah, what's the deal with yolk on top of dishes?
It's coming out.
Let me get some yolk on my noodle.
Wait, is it Alfredo sauce in here?
We're literally eating carbonara, but instead of guanciale, it's pepperoni. Carbonara is basically raw yolk. Wow, I'm eating a lot of this.
You know, it kind of makes sense. Also because I love the volume here. You get more pepperonis than you get, sausages.
Look, I like spaghetti and meatballs, even though they're not traditional to put meatball with spaghetti. The shape of a meatball makes the least sense with the shape of a strained noodle. Arguably, a slice of the ball, which is the pepperoni, is a more convenient thing to eat. You gonna eat your pickle?
Getting pretty full.
Come on, please. Cheers, Steven.
Cheers. Ding. It's so sweet.
It's a sweet pickle. It's a sweet pickle.
While we're already well acquainted with Seoul's great fried chicken, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to try one of our favorite versions, Nashville hot chicken. We were genuinely surprised to see it on a menu here. Our last stop, 르프리크, has it as their signature dish. 르프리크 immediately felt very familiar to us. A short, constantly evolving menu of casual foods are refined and elevated. Like, rather than fries, they have their chat potatoes. Whole potatoes are smashed flat, fried, and served with pickled fennel. They also have seasonal specials they document as episodes. which at the time was a camembert cheeseburger. The term burger is used purely in the sense that it's served on a bun, but this too is a chicken sandwich. It has jalapeno mayo, bacon, prunes, and a camembert cheese sauce. The vibe at 르프리크 is an old-timey familiar warmth, but its menu is delightfully inventive. There's still an overall unpretentiousness to the approach, like how the logo and images on the menu were sketched by the owner and head chef Steve Jeong, who insists he's not an artist, in an interest to save money. He shared with us that restaurants in this elevated casual category, while ubiquitous in America or Australia where he previously worked, are still not as common in Korea. This Nashville hot chicken sandwich may not be an exact reproduction of what you'd find in Tennessee, but what it might lack in authenticity, it makes up for with its own personality.
I'm gonna bump the bun hat part.
Mm. It is so good.
I'll eat this potato right here.
Oh, please, let's go
What's this in
in.
the center?
Fennel?
I love fennel. Oh my God, these are so good. Weirdly, this feels like a very New York restaurant to me, but it feels like a mashup of 3 or 4 New York restaurants. Like, I don't think a fried chicken restaurant in New York would also have bolognese eggplant.
We were not gonna get the eggplant at first. Then I saw this hit another table.
Well, you saw Junho eating it.
I thought, yeah. Okay, you're right. Can we try the eggplant?
Yeah, let's dig in.
Okay, this should be called eggplant boat. Whoa,
It's actually so good.
I've never had an eggplant like that before.
And the Nashville hot chicken, is it authentic Nashville hot chicken? Maybe not, but it's a very good fried chicken sandwich.
Here's the thing about this place that I love. It's so dialed in on what it is. Like, you know those kids that are like 8 years old and they're wearing like fake frame glasses and like a top hat? And you're like, that kid is cool because they know who they are. They are that person.
Not
Like-
only do they know who they are, but they're trying stuff.
Yes.
Which is even more important. It is a very focused menu, but it also represents kind of random stuff. Through the like translation filter, you end up with a very short, specific list. You might not think necessarily goes together, but the way that they've executed everything, it does go together.
When traveling, there's often a pressure to fill every moment with totally new experiences. And when considering what foods to try, that thinking can lead to overlooking some genuinely great options. But if you're able to experience things you already love in new contexts, good or bad, you'll be able to carry those memories with you every next time you enjoy that thing.
Cheers.
Cheers. Meat and onion, match made in heaven.
Yeah. Burgers.
Hot dogs.
Shakshuka? I don't know, that's tomatoes.
You always have this tone where you're like, okay, time to form a list of the thing you just made. And you never get past one. Burgers, hot dogs. Shit.